Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome back to my channel of non-Kari stories. My name is Adnan and I narrate the real horror stories that you people send me. If you also want to share your own story, there's a WhatsApp number and an email address in the description. Just write your story or send a voice message. I'll pick the best ones and narrate them. Let's jump into today's stories. If you're someone who gets scared easily, it's better you skip this video. And if you still want to listen, then for the sake of Allah, recite Ayat al-Kursi first. Because whenever we talk about these beings, they take a lot of interest and come very close to us. So to stay protected, recite Ayat al-Kursi. Let's begin. My name is Irfan and I belong to Sheikhupura city in Pakistan, which is about 32 kilometers from Lahore. Today I'm going to share a story with you that is 100% true, a terrifying incident so horrifying that probably nothing like it has ever come on your channel before. This happened in the year 2009. Me and my friend Ali Raza went to a fair, the same annual fair that takes place every 13th of December. At that time I was 23 years old, same as Ali Raza. I had just bought a brand new bike a few days earlier, and you know how crazy a guy gets about his first bike. So we decided, why not go to the fair on the new bike this year? We'll enjoy the ride too. We left our village, 17 Chuk, around 3 p.m. The fair was roughly 55 kilometers away. We reached there by 4 in the evening. The road to the fair was a single-lane road with almost no traffic even in the daytime, so you can imagine how deadly silent it becomes at night. At the fair there were food stalls, we ate, drank, enjoyed a bit, offered Isha prayer, saw the rest of the sights, and suddenly it was 11 p.m. I wanted to stay till morning, but Ali Raza insisted, no, let's go back now. I tried to convince him, it's late, it's freezing cold, we'll leave comfortably in the morning, but he wouldn't listen at all. Finally I gave in to his stubbornness. That route was extremely deserted. Even during the day very few people passed through it, and at night you wouldn't even hear a sound. On top of that, robberies were common in that area, and my new bike didn't even have a number plate yet. Still, I put a stone on my heart, kick-started the bike, and we left the fair exactly at 12 midnight. After covering about 10 kilometers, the dangerous stretch began, single road, pitch-black darkness all around, only the faint headlight of our bike. I was also scared that someone might snatch the new bike. We rode slowly for the first 15 minutes because the darkness was really thick. By the time we had covered around 20 kilometers, it was bitterly cold and I was riding at about 50 kilometers per hour. Big trees started appearing on both sides of the road. Suddenly, from between the trees, someone shouted, "Stop! If you go further, something very bad will happen." A shiver ran down my spine. Ali Raza grabbed me tightly. I accelerated and we both were trembling. It was a freezing December night. A little later, about 500 meters ahead, we saw 2 motorcycles and a car parked with their lights on. When we reached closer, we saw 2 armed robbers looting that car. We stopped and thought, what now? To our right there was a kacha, unpaved, turn that went into dense trees, it looked like a jungle. Without thinking too much, I took the turn so the robbers wouldn't take my bike. I sped up. Ali Raza was shaking and kept saying, I wish we had waited till morning. I said, what's the point now? We had no idea how long that jungle road actually was. There was faint light far away, but the track was only about 15 feet wide with thick forest on both sides. It felt no less than a gateway to death. We kept riding fast for almost 30 minutes, but the road just wouldn't end. And here the real story begins. We were college students, we hadn't even filled enough petrol to reach home comfortably. Suddenly the bike started jerking, petrol finished, engine died. We both started shivering as if doomsday had arrived. Complete darkness all around. It felt like the night of Qiyamah. I got off and tried to push-start the bike. Suddenly it felt as if something passed by us at high speed. Ali Raza felt it too. I can't explain that moment, my legs went numb. I pushed again and miraculously the bike started, but it could only run 1 to 2 kilometers on reserve. Same thing happened again, bike stopped. We decided we'll walk and drag the bike. We walked for 15 minutes, then stopped and thought, we don't even know how much distance is left. Finally we decided to sit quietly on the side and wait for morning. It was 2 a.m. We parked the bike on stand, sat on the edge of the road in the silent jungle, breathing slowly and praying, Ya Allah have mercy on us. Some time passed and we heard a humming sound, like an 80-year-old man humming. Our breath stopped. How can anyone be here at 2 a.m. in the middle of nowhere? The sound was coming from behind us. I had a small torch, we weren't allowed mobile phones back then. I switched it on and walked 5 to 6 steps into the jungle while Ali Raza stayed with the bike. As soon as I went a few steps, I saw a small bridge over a stream, and on that bridge an old man with white hair and completely black clothes was lying down. I immediately switched off the torch. My breath stuck in my throat. I quietly returned to the bike and saw Ali Raza wasn't there. He had just gone a little distance to relieve himself. I didn't tell him anything because he was already terrified. I made an excuse and said, let's walk a bit further and sit there. We walked another 10 minutes, parked the bike again and sat down. After a while we saw a faint light inside the jungle that suddenly disappeared. Then we looked up, countless birds had gathered in the sky and were screeching loudly. We were shocked. How can birds be screaming at this hour? It was 3 a.m. now and both of us had fever-like chills. I gathered courage and said, let's slowly keep moving. We walked another 20 minutes and the jungle finally started thinning. After the jungle ended, a canal began. We kept walking slowly. Far away we saw a long house-like structure with a lamp burning inside. I told Ali Raza, you wait here. I'll go check. If there's any problem, honk 3 times. The light was about 1 kilometer away. I had to cross a very narrow bridge over the canal, barely 5 feet wide. On the other side were fields. I reached the building and heard strange chanting coming from inside. I peeped in carefully and the ground slipped from under my feet. It was a shrine, Dargah, and the grave inside was at least 40 feet long. Even more terrifying, 1 man and 2 women were sitting on both sides of that grave at 3 a.m. in the wilderness. I tried to leave quietly, but just then I heard 3 honks from far away. I got more scared. Suddenly the light of the shrine went off and those 3 figures started coming out. I saw them for a few seconds and then they vanished into thin air. I ran back, crossed the bridge, and saw a man holding a lantern standing with Ali Raza. Ali Raza said, this uncle lives in a nearby village. I thanked Allah. The uncle took us to his village. By then Far Adhan was being called. We rested a bit, ate something, filled petrol, and reached home safely. I hope you liked my story. I'm sure you'll share this real incident that happened with me on your channel very soon. Thank you so much for sharing your story, brother. Friends, whenever I narrate your stories, please come to the comments and tell me it was your story and give your feedback. It helps me a lot. Now let's move to a short story of a truck driver. This incident is from Muscat, Oman. A truck driver named Hamdan had to take a loaded truck from Metroport to Salalah, roughly a 12-hour journey. He waited for loading, and by the time the truck was ready it was already Maghrib time. He left around 7 p.m. He had slept during the day so he was completely fresh. He had driven 6 to 7 hours when he saw a small tea shop, called Makkah in Arabic. It was 1 or 2 a.m., freezing winter night, dead silence. He parked the truck and went to drink tea. Except the shop owner, there was no one else. He quickly finished his tea, paid, and walked back to the truck. In front of the truck stood a man completely wrapped in a blanket, only his eyes visible, and he was wearing black sunglasses at night. Hamdan thought he must be some mad guy, ignored him, and said, "Move aside." The man didn't reply. Hamdan shouted angrily, "Move." The shop owner came running and asked, "Any problem?" Hamdan pointed, "This guy isn't moving." The shop owner looked surprised and asked, "Which guy?" Hamdan looked again, there was no one. Complete silence and emptiness on the road. A cold shiver ran through him. He quickly started the truck and drove off. Later, while driving through the desert stretch near Salalah where sand blows constantly, he suddenly felt someone knocking on the truck door while it was moving at speed. Then the knocking became louder on the left door. In the headlights he saw something running parallel to the truck, a goat. But the goat was floating in the air, legs moving as if running, keeping exact speed with the moving truck, staring at him through the window. Terrified, he sped up, but the goat kept pace. Suddenly a wild camel came running from the front in the sandstorm. Hamdan was going so fast that braking would have overturned the truck. Thinking it was another jinn, he drove straight, huge collision, loud bang, but he didn't stop. He kept reciting whatever Quranic verses he knew. Half an hour later he reached a police station, stopped, saw the policeman, fell to the ground and fainted. When he regained consciousness, police asked why his truck had blood on it. He told everything. In the morning police went with him and found the dead wild camel on the road. Hamdan got high fever and was hospitalized. After this incident, a law was made in Oman. After sunset, no single truck can go towards Salalah. Minimum 7 to 8 trucks must travel together because many drivers had disappeared or died on that route before. Hamdan was lucky to survive. Thank you for this story. Next story, a bike rider from Hyderabad, Sindh, Pakistan. About 15 days ago, there were recruitment tests for customs/police in Gunjo Takar, around 20 to 25 kilometers from Hyderabad. People were coming from different cities even at 1 to 2 a.m. for the test. The rider saw a Pathan passenger at 2:30 a.m. at Qasim Chowk who wanted to go to the test center. Fare fixed, they left. After crossing the city, they took a wrong turn into a completely deserted mountain area. The Pathan got scared, started reciting verses, told the rider to turn back. But the rider said just 8 to 10 more minutes. They reached the center around 4 a.m., rider dropped him, got paid. The watchman, who was also Pathan, and the passenger both told him, "Don't go back now, wait for far, it's dangerous." But the rider needed money badly for rent, so he left alone. Only 3 to 4 minutes into the return journey on that same deserted mountain road, the bike suddenly felt heavy, as if someone sat behind him. The more speed he gave, the heavier it became. He recited Ayat al-Kursi, bike became light again. Then he heard rattling chains, distant laughter, saw a huge white figure ahead. He tried to dodge it, crashed, someone grabbed the bike from behind, breathed heavily, he fainted. When he opened his eyes, far Adhan was going on. His whole body was in severe pain as if beaten badly. A passing rickshaw driver found him unconscious, revived him, gave him tea, and told him that entire area is heavy, haunted. Even police don't pass alone after evening. Many people have died there at night. Allah saved you. Thank you, brother, for sharing this real incident. Last story, from Gujarat, India. My friend is a taxi driver. 2 years ago he got a booking. One uncle, one auntie, and one very old man wanted to go to a distant village for a wedding. He picked them up at 3 p.m. By evening they were still far, winter days are short. They stopped at a lonely tea stall. The tea seller, 60 to 65 years old, strangely advised them to stay the night and leave in the morning because the remaining road passes through dense jungle and is very dangerous at night. My friend laughed it off. They reached the village at 9 p.m., dropped the passengers, ate dinner, and he started return journey alone. A few kilometers later he passed a cremation ground. A strange blue-colored cat came in front of the car. He tried to avoid it but hit it, loud bang like hitting a big animal. Next moment, thud on the roof. The same blue cat was walking on the roof, came to the bonnet and stared at him with glowing eyes like a human. He jerked the car, but the cat started running alongside at full speed. The cat finally turned into the cremation ground where a pyre was burning and white-clad figures stood around it. He stopped a little ahead to check damage, nothing, not even a scratch. Then he heard thud again, tire burst. He changed the tire, but when he turned, the removed tire had disappeared. He walked toward the cremation ground to ask for help and saw dozens of skeleton-like creatures circling the pyre. He lost consciousness, somehow ran back, started the car, and fled. For the next 1 kilometer all the bushes on both sides shook violently though there was no wind. In the side mirror he saw those skeletal figures chasing the car, then they disappeared into the bushes. He reached home at 6 a.m., had fever for a week and kept seeing terrifying dreams. That was today's stories, friends. If you liked them, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell icon for all notifications, and become part of our YouTube family. Take care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.